Good evening and hello everyone. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen who are here and watching us live on Facebook, Namaste, and a very warm welcome to the launch of BetsaLife.com, a teleconsulting platform being launched by Betsa Life Private Limited. I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to join us and making this event special by your presence. I'm Sina Mary Verghese, and I have the honor of being the MC for this event. I request you to keep your mics mute unless you're invited to speak. We have our well-wishers and participants joining from US, Canada, Kuwait, Oman, UAE, and India. Before we start, please allow me to quickly run through the agenda of the event. Please note that all timings mentioned here are Indian Standard Time. We will start with the welcome address and introduction of Betsa Life by Mr. Biji Tharakan Thomas. This will be followed by inaugural address and platform launch by the chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Justice High Court of Kerala, India. Mr. Ashish Koshi, Chief Executive Officer of G42 Healthcare UAE, will launch the website and will share his thoughts about this venture. This will be followed by keynote speech by Mr. Gigo Joseph, Vice President of CHAINYARD USA. Technology outline of the platform will be shared by Mrs. Bindhu Jayamohan, co-founder and Chief Finance Officer of Betsa Life. After the vote of thanks by Mrs. Jean John, co-founder and managing director, Betsa Life, we plan to conclude by 8:35 p.m. IST. Should you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat. We shall collate the same and respond to you through our official digital media pages. Without further delay, I invite Mr. Biji Tharakan Thomas, co-founder and Chief Executive Officer of Betsa Life Private Limited, for the welcome address and product introduction. Biji is an engineer turned entrepreneur. He has significant and varied experience in different types of organizations. He is a curious and optimistic self-learner with high integrity. He is bold enough to test ideas and learnings at the earliest opportunity. He gets excitement out of building new businesses and bringing out the best in people. He's always willing to help. I now invite Mr. Biji Tharakan Thomas for the welcome address and a brief introduction about Betsa Life.
Thank you, Sina. Greetings to all of you here in the Zoom and others watching us live through our digital channels. Today, the 18th of December 2021, and I'm very happy and excited to be on the launch day of BetsaLife.com, a teleconsulting platform. Betsa Life Private Limited as a company is in existence for last 1 year. We were working at the various angles of converting an idea into a business where the users would happily pay for the services the businesses provide. And that is achieved today by BetsaLife.com website or like a website landing page. And that leads to a cloud-based software application behind that, where users will connect with doctors and expert consultants, including chartered accountants, architects, lawyers, and they can book their time and consult with them. That's a simple idea. My role now is to welcome everyone and to introduce about Betsa Consulting service we are launching today. I extend a sincere and warm welcome to our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Judge, High Court of Kerala, India, on behalf of Better Life team. Thank you, sir, for arranging and making yourself available to launch the platform and to give us the inaugural address.
Thank you, Biji.
It's a great honor for us, and we are eager to hear from you. Now I extend my welcome to Mr. Ashish Koshi, CEO G42 Healthcare, who agreed to attend the event and launch the website though he is away from UAE. A very warm welcome to Ashish.
Thank you, Biji.
I also, in absentia, welcoming Mr. Gigo Joseph. He is about to reach Trivandrum, driving from Cochin, and said he will be joining in a few minutes. He is the Vice President of CHAINYARD, who is attending and agreed to deliver the keynote speech. I also welcome Mrs. Bindhu Jayamohan and Mrs. Jean John, who are the co-founders of this company. On behalf of Bechu team, I thank all eminent doctors, chartered accountants, architects, and lawyers who already onboarded on our platform, and some of them are attending this event. All participants, guests, well-wishers, advisory board members, Bechu team, family and friends, and members of the media, all of you who are attending this event on the Zoom and on Facebook page, a very warm welcome to one and all. Allow me a few minutes to let you know a little bit more about the service we are launching now. It won't take much time. It will be a couple of slides followed with a small video which is less than 1 minute. So this is a very simple user interface, a web application, which you can open on any browser or on any device. It is optimized for mobile devices. So through this application, you will be able to consult an expert. Most of our experts are based in India at the moment, and we expect people of Indian origin who are all around the world, or any Indians who are away from their hometown who could get benefit from this platform. So I believe that every day we might run into situations where we need expert opinions, and if we can get that opinion quickly and conveniently, then our decisions can be much better, and the impact of decisions will be better for us in our lives and our dear and near ones. As far as the consultants and doctors are concerned, for them instantly they can make their practice digital without any investment, and they can configure their dashboard in such a way that they can arrange their work schedule to balance their current work with the teleconsulting. The platform provides them the flexibility to add details of their practice as they get more accreditations or more service or more experience, and they can also appropriately change the fees on the platform. So we provide convenience by eliminating travel, by reducing the risk of exposure, and making it easy and convenient for making informed decisions. So as I said before, it is very few steps. Sign up process is very simple with an email. Then you search the right expert by reading the profile and having an advanced search where you could search based on geography, specialty, language, years of experience, etc. And you choose an expert. You will be having a view into his calendar where you can directly book the appointment at a convenient time. You can pay online using credit or debit cards, and the selected specialist will start the meeting at the scheduled time. You can join in from any device, any browser, as I said before, and you can also share your overall experience level. We are always looking for better ways to serve, so we will be working on the platform continuously to improve it. Right now, we are launching it in a minimum viable form where we need certain validations from the market. How it works?
Worried about the health condition of your parents residing in your hometown? Need to see an advocate or want professional opinion in planning a new house? Or financial advice from a chartered accountant but can't find the right person to talk to? Being an NRI, does all this sound familiar? With Better Life, you can avail personalized healthcare service from specialist doctors, comprehensive legal consultation from the leading advocates, extensive financial advice from the best chartered accountants, expert opinion from top architects, and much more with just a few clicks. We offer fast, easy, and convenient access to experts in each field, whenever you need them with scheduled virtual appointments. Subscription to our service lets you step into a whole new digital experience. Better life, better ways to serve.
Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. And Sina, I conclude my product introduction as well. Over to you.
Thank you, Biji, for the warm welcome and giving us an idea of what Better Life is all about. It definitely looks promising. I'm honored to introduce the chief guest of this event, Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Justice High Court of Kerala, India. Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas is the second son of Justice K.T. Thomas, former judge of Supreme Court of India. He obtained law degree from Government Law College, Ernakulam, securing first rank in the university in 1992 and was awarded gold medal. He started practice as a lawyer at Kottayam and later moved to various courts, including Supreme Court of India. He is also recipient of British Council Chevening Scholarship and underwent study and training at the College of Law, York, London. He was also a partner of a law firm in Dubai called Calidus Maritime International. In 2015, he was designated as senior counsel by Kerala High Court. He is currently serving as judge at the High Court of Kerala from 6 March 2020. I'm honored to invite Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas for the inaugural address and platform launch.
Thank you, Sina. Warm good evening to all of you. Mr. Ashish Koshi, my good friend Biji Thomas, Jean John, Sina, and all others online on Facebook, watching and participating in this event. I'm extremely delighted, more so because Biji has been a friend of mine for the last almost 40 years, I think. Next year, we will be touching 40 years in our relationship. And what more can a friend expect than to find his close pal launching an event, and that too giving me an opportunity to be a part of that. So I should, at the beginning of this address itself, thank Biji, Jean, and all others responsible for giving me this opportunity to be a part of Biji's professional life too. Talking about Biji, I must mention that there's always been an air of positivity that's surrounded. That air of positivity has been a change in his life. Today, we are going to witness through this launch and in the coming months and years what that positivity could do to most of us. As you're all aware, that change is the essence of life. The last 1.5 years have brought in changes unimaginable. In the first week of March 2020, most of us would not have even dreamt of having a launch of an event like this done through an online platform. Last December, while we were thinking of having our first vaccine shots, with all the fear that flowed from the very thought of it, the inhibitions, the hesitancy, Today we are now thinking of having, or today we are thinking about when are we going to have our booster shots. How the world has changed in the last few months. And in this technology-driven world, success goes to those who perceive what most of us would rather ignore. Success goes to those who perceive what others ignore. Today, Biji and Jean have perceived what most of us would have rather ignored. Access to justice has been declared as a fundamental right by the Supreme Court as early as in 2016. Though access to legal counsel is not yet a fundamental right, except in very limited areas, true freedom of an individual would arise only when he has the opportunity to obtain the right advice, and that too when he needs it. With the advent of internet and the availability of information at the swipe of a finger or the click of a button, one certainly gets confused. For a layman in the medical field, I get confused with the amount of information that is available to me at the click of a button. It creates even fear, anxiety. WhatsApp University gives us information, unwanted information and counsel. I've often wondered, the old phrase that in our generation grew up with, where ignorance is a bliss, it is folly to be wise. Is it not true even in this modern world? So to have the right information, that too at the click of a button, would be a great advantage. This is exactly what Better Life is going to provide to us. I was just glancing through what Biji was showing us, and even before the event started, the number of doctors that are going to be available on the platform, the lawyers, the chartered accountants, and the architects. All of these are going to help many of those, especially the non-resident Indians. Speaking from my perspective, for the last 1.5 years, maybe 18 months of my term as a person judging various litigations, I could find that several non-resident Indians have come up to the courts to a large extent because of an absence of proper counsel at the proper time. Had there been a right advice given to them, many disputes would not have even reached the courts. Limitation periods. When should a person approach a court of law? The information could have been gathered by the particular party litigant, which would have, if it was available to him at the right moment, it would have either prevented him from losing out the opportunity to file a case, the opportunity to recover an amount lost by him, and various other aspects. Thus, the online system of providing consultation is going to be the future. And here is what Biji and Jean has perceived. The online legal, medical, architectural, and even financial consultation platform will certainly be a vehicle for increased power and knowledge for most of the non-resident Indians. And the Better Life platform certainly has a tendency to radically transform the professional consultation. I'm sure that with the vibe and enthusiasm which Biji has exhibited even from his younger days, And with the avid support of Jean, I'm sure this Better Life is going to reach great heights in the future years. With these few words, I would like to officially and with great gladness launch the Better Life platform on cloud, which is the engine behind the teleconsulting service. And I officially declare this platform as launched. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, for your valuable words and good wishes for this venture. We thank you for sparing your time to grace this occasion. Moving forward, Mr. Ashish Koshi is the Chief Executive Officer of G42 Healthcare, a leading health tech company on a mission to develop a world-class healthcare sector in the UAE and beyond. Ashish Koshi is a business leader who specializes in converting difficult problems into strong business propositions. As the CEO of G42 Healthcare, Mr. Ashish has envisioned a holistic ecosystem of artificial intelligence-powered solutions for current and future challenges and built on public-private partnerships and collaborated with government and private entities as well as pharmaceutical companies, tech entities, and academic institutions in the UAE and beyond to develop solutions that future-proof the health of nations. Prior to joining G42, Ashish has held roles as Deputy General Manager, Technology Development and Innovation at Reliance Jio and Technology Planning at Ooredoo. Ashish has completed his post-graduation in computer networks from Middlesex University, has an MBA in Engineering Business Management from Alliance Manchester Business School. Let me welcome Mr. Ashish Koshi to do the website launch and felicitation.
Thank you, Sina. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Mr. Gigo Joseph, co-founder and managing director, Mrs. Jean Thomas, co-founder, CEO and friend, Mr. Biji Thomas, CFO, Bindhu, Jayamohan, the entire advisory board of experts, and I believe close to 100 guests witnessing the launch of betserlife.com today. It's definitely a pleasure to be part of this launch, and most importantly, this is such a pleasant and fitting occasion for the times, exactly as what Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas has mentioned. We are living in difficult times right now. As the world becomes fully adept at serving its people through all possible virtual avenues, we together today gather to witness a collaboration across traditionally distinct professions now coming together to serve and better the quality of lives across the world. Through betserlife.com, I believe you can connect through doctors, lawyers, accountants, architects, CAs, and I believe the portfolio of professions who will join Better Life will increase as we get more people in. And the fact that you can remotely connect people to best resolve their immediate needs is something that is a much needed of the hour. I'm currently wearing two hats today, three hats. One is of a tourist hat where I'm actually on vacation right now. So if is any disturbance because I'm in a public space, apologies for that in advance. But the other two hats, there's one hat is what I said, I'm a well-wisher of betserlife.com and Biji and family, but also as the CEO of G42 Healthcare, which in a way leverages technology, AI, cloud computing, and most importantly, telemedicine solutions to drive precision and personalized medicine. So in the next maybe couple of minutes, let me just touch upon G42 Healthcare and some of the solutions that how we've leveraged technology during a pandemic to solve a lot of healthcare issues. So G42 Healthcare is a strategic pillar of a group called Group 42, which is an Abu Dhabi-based artificial intelligence and cloud computing company. Currently, we are uniquely positioned to develop holistic and scalable AI solutions across multiple streams. I represent the healthcare sector within the organization. Our aim is currently to develop a world-class healthcare sector, not just in the UAE, but beyond, by harnessing data and advanced medical technologies to unlock the potential of personalized and precision medicine. During the COVID-19 pandemic, as we all agree, humanity faced its worst crisis ever. There was a greater need for speed, scale, and ideally synchronization in the healthcare space. There were many companies that were already established, but there were very few companies that leveraged technology. And that's where G42 Healthcare came in. And I do believe, as Justice Honorable Mr. Bechu Kurian Thomas said, I do believe betterlife.com has come in at the right moment. And I'm sure in going through the agenda, you have technology and cloud solutions to connect and remotely ensure that speed and also synchronization can provide the right remote solutions. That is the much needed, as I mentioned earlier, of the hour. So G42 Healthcare, we started complementing the efforts of the UAE government to manage the crisis. We built a lab literally in 14 days, ground up, and it became one of the largest labs for PCR testing in the country. We just didn't leave it at that. We deployed AI solutions to fast track, because we found out the biggest problem was not the lack of PCR labs, but the quick turnaround time to detect positive samples and push that data in the agile way for the contract tracing applications. And that's where we deployed multiple solutions to quicken the turnaround time from ideally, which was a problem of 24 hours to 48 hours to literally 6 hours. And where that was our, let's call it USP to the market, our differentiator, where we leverage technology to find a solution. Another key program that we are very proud of is the For Humanity clinical trial that was conducted in 4 different countries with 45,000 volunteers. And it was the world's first inactivated clinical trial for the COVID-19. And the fact that we've launched it and executed it and completed it in record time is because we had teleconsulting solutions so that we could connect the volunteers to the clinicians, to including the recruitment coordinators who were calling up and following up on multiple issues that they would have post-vaccination, be on day 0, day 14, and even day 28. We shortened the time of a clinical trial without affecting the quality by deploying teleconsulting solutions. And I believe the same model can be not just for the healthcare space, it can be deployed to exactly what betterlife.com is trying to work on. Is there are engineering problems that you want solutions that you cannot have NRIs waiting for their vacation to come back to India to see that one person, to get his 10 minutes of advice for a business problem that can be literally solved in 2 minutes by just jumping on that user-friendly app that Biji just described. So digital health and technology is one of our cornerstones of our advancement, and we are ideally transforming the way healthcare operates in the UAE. And telemedicine is one of our critical solutions that we've deployed, not just in the UAE, but we've connected it beyond the UAE also, where we've solved the huge issue of not having the patient visit the hospital in person, but you can have remotely monitor them, be it chronic disease management, be it cardiovascular risks. We also have deployed AI apps for even something as simple as just diabetes monitoring, and built dashboards so that the clinicians can know in advance what is his blood sugar levels at multiple intervals, as opposed to him just coming 5 minutes before the doctor's visit to see what went wrong there. I'll cut my felicitation talk really short, but as we all agree, the pandemic wreaked havoc on our lives for a number of ways during the past 24 months. But the thing is exactly what I think Justice stole my punchline. It paved the way to accelerating innovation. And that's the thing that I think a lot of companies similar to mine, we grew from a small organization. When I say small, it was a concept in 2019 to now we are over 1,000 employees in 2021 and one healthcare company of the year in 2021. So all the fact that we leverage technology, and I do believe Better Life is in the right space where they are doing exactly that by not just focusing on one domain, but opening it up to multiple domains. And I think that's going to be a game changer. And once again, thank you for inviting me. And with this, I would like to officially announce the betterlife.com website is now ready and launched for access for people around the world. I'd like to congratulate the entire team for this wonderful achievement and wish them all the very best during the next important phase. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ashish, for launching the website of Better Life. We appreciate and recognize the work you're doing to improve the healthcare system. And we also thank you for taking time out in the midst of your vacation to join us for this event. Mr. Gigo Joseph is a global senior IT executive with 22 years of delivering growth in information technology services across US, India, and Middle East with hands-on technical experience. He is adept at heading operations, diverse stakeholder management, developing efficient process and policies, developing internal structure for statutory compliances, audits liaison with government, re-engineering to improve efficiency, vendor management, monitoring business goals, new business opportunities based on medium and long-term plan of the company. He's a member of many company boards, an active speaker, and has been in leadership roles in various industry forums such as CII and NASSCOM. Prior to joining CHAINYARD US, he worked with Infosys and was CEO of InfoPark and Smart City, Kochi. I humbly invite Mr. Gigo Joseph to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depends on where you are joining from. I was actually driving from Cochin to Trivandrum. I'm sorry I joined 5 minutes late. I think though the technology has changed.
Your video is off, Biji. Sorry to interrupt.
Is it on now? Can you see me now?
Yes, it's good, thanks.
Okay, so I was saying, though the technology has changed and impacted our life, our roads hasn't changed at all. It's still the same old way. So I was thinking of reaching Trivandrum, much earlier. But anyway, thank you very much, Biji, for inviting me. And I think I met Biji around a year back, and we both had a very one good thing, and we both had passion for technology. And when Biji started talking about Better Life, these online opinion options, two things which came to my mind. The first one is I was telling Biji the scalability will depend upon the quality of the recommendations. It'll probably grow word of mouth. Like you need a good opinions from people after they use it, right? That is the first part. Second, what I was thinking and I was telling Biji was about the privacy and confidentiality of the medical records. And that's where we started discussing about blockchain, because I primarily work on for the last 5 years, I work on a blockchain technology. And our company has delivered more than like 50 blockchain technologies around the world. And some of the Dubai government's project, we currently work on it from the Middle East perspective, but mostly on the US market. So blockchain is a technology which started with Bitcoin, like many of you know. The Bitcoin uses blockchain technology, and after Bitcoin is actually a currency, equivalence of a currency. I mean, it stores a value. You can say it's more of a gold rather than a currency to exchange to purchase something. I mean, it's more of something which stores a value. So gold is something which stores a value, right? So then from the Bitcoin, then Ethereum came out. Ethereum is a programmable currency. You can actually program the currency to do certain contracts out of it. So it was a game changer. Ever since blockchain has been widely been used, and it is a horizontal technology. You can do multiple things on top of that. So one of the things Biji and we were talking very heavily was on the retain the privacy of the medical records. Today, if you look at medical records, I have no control on my medical record. I mean, you would have seen the movie Joseph. Some of you have seen the movie Joseph, like the hospitals, they misuse my medical records for other purposes. They sell my medical records. Using blockchain technology, you can actually own your own record. I mean, that's one of the key privacy things comes out of, California Privacy Act, as well as the GDPR of European Act, is like, the end user has to have the control of all the data. I can decide who I should give it to. I can decide who I should not give it to. So let's take an example in this particular Better Life application. Let's say you control all your data. You control all your medical record. It's all in your custody. And once you log into a doctor, you grant him permission to see the records. And after he sees it, after meetings is over, maybe you grant permission only for 30 minutes, the record will come back to you. So he has no way of seeing that. And you have the right to erase it. It follows all the GDPR standard, the privacy aspects. So the many governments are planning in this line of getting the medical records into the control of the patient rather than the control of the hospitals or the control of the clinics, And, sometimes you have multiple versions of your copies of all your records at multiple places. So we talked about having a roadmap for Biji to create such a technology, so it get more confidence to the people. So that's where the relationship started, and we found, Honorable Justice mentioned at the beginning, it's an exciting person. It's an exciting product, and we all in many times, even I myself wished about, is there an easy way for me to get a second opinion or even a primary opinion on some of the recommendations given to us, right? It can definitely reduce the fraud. It can definitely give confidence to people, and it is accessible, right? And technology will continue to drive. I mean, at a much higher pace. I mean, it's one of my senior who started DNA sequencing. He's one of the leading DNA sequencing company in India. It's actually in Cochin, in Smart City. So when he was telling me last time when I met him, so 2004, when Bill Gates and all announced the first sequencing happened in 10 years. So just to sequence a human DNA, it took 10 years. So he sold his company and started this DNA sequencing and working on it's called genomics. So this company. And today, sequencing can happen less than 24 hours. And it'll continue to go, the technology will continue to drive things much faster in everybody's life. So, I mean, there is no going back on it. So Biji is on the right track. I mean, and with more privacy and confidentiality coming in, we will have a much better quality of life given to people. There's one more point I actually wanted to add. Actually, maybe some of you read it about how technology inversion. It's actually called platform. It's actually called infrastructure inversion. How infrastructure inversion drives new way of life. As an example, like the example I read recently was when cars were initially introduced, there was no roads. So the cars were using the roads used by the horses, right? The horse chariots. So the roads were very bumpy. But once the roads were paved and tarred, you get a bigger infrastructure came up. Then this all the business economy came around the roads, right? The same thing with the cloud, actually, as an example, when the cloud was initially started, nobody was ready to move, but the whole cloud infrastructure is ready, everything now moved into the cloud. So it created a new way of doing business. Same with this blockchain technology. I mean, 10 years down the line, when the entire infrastructure of the blockchain is ready, like today, we are creating application for banks on blockchain. Tomorrow, the banks will be on blockchain once the infrastructure is ready. That's where the guy was talking about infrastructure inversion will drive the technology at a much rapid pace. I don't want to take more time on this evening talking about my technology bits, but I want to wish all success to Biji and everybody who joined. I think there's a good number of people joined Biji in this group. So, I mean, there are a lot of well wishers for you. So you have a lot of passion. Keep it up. So we are all there to help you out. Thank you for inviting me, and all the best on all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gigo, for that informative address. We could actually feel your passion for technology. We value your inputs and good wishes for Better Life. Moving forward, Mrs. Bindhu Jayamohan is a senior human resources and technology professional involved with startups and product development. She is a partner and leads the product development efforts at Teldio, a video consultation solutions company. She is one of the co-founders of Better Life Private Limited and currently acting Chief Finance Officer. She has an eye for details and has broad exposure and is fully aware of cultural sensitivities in workforce both in India and US. I invite Mrs. Bindhu Jayamohan to give us the technology overview.
Thank you, Sina. Dear respected guests and dear friends, I just will make it short. Telehealth and teleconsultations have emerged as an unexpected silver lining of the COVID-19 pandemic, improving access to care, service, and facilitating a transition towards digital consulting. I'm happy to present the technology background of betterlife.com. The backbone of Better Life is a SaaS solution named Teldio, a US-based startup focusing on video-based consulting solutions started by my partner Usha Ajit and myself in New Jersey, USA, with a back office in Pune, India. We use a cutting-edge technologies based on Google Cloud and AWS to implement our solution. Thanks to Jayamohan, Ajit Prabhagar, and Brinda Mohan, a few technology buffs from our family. Patient privacy and data security are one of the key priorities, and we make sure that no compromises are made on this. Now, let me be a little bit more technical here. Our application is hosted on the Google Cloud, and our servers and CDN support TLS 1.3 at a new encryption protocol. Our application is protected by Cloudflare's enterprise-level firewall and include DDoS protection. We use a secure proprietary video streaming service with mission-critical reliability, 99.99% uptime, 400 milliseconds average global latency, and automatically select the most efficient routing path for sub-second latency globally across 200 plus data centers. This service has ISO, IES certifications for information security and PCI DSS payment, credit card industry, data security standards. We are working constantly on adding additional features, including improved UI, UX experience and technology enhancements that would provide a seamless experience to our users. Our enhancements in the pipeline include AI bots to assist the users and blockchain-based digital wallet for healthcare records, important documents which can be released securely to any care provider, consultant of choice anywhere in the world. By enabling remote access to care for patients, consulting solutions to clients, regardless of where they are located, Better Life has the potential to push the video consulting platform to become more equitable. I wish all the success to betterlife.com and the enterprising team behind this venture. Thank you once again. Back to Sina.
Thank you, Mrs. Bindhu, for your informative and insightful message on technology overview. I'm pleased to introduce Mrs. Jean John, who is a co-founder and managing director of Better Life Private Limited. Moreover, she is my dear friend. I always find her with energy and concern for others. She was looking for an opportunity to serve, and I believe she found her calling through Better Life. I'm glad she has found this venture where her normal style is aligned to. I now invite Jean for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sina. A warm and a graceful evening to one and all who is gathered here and viewing this event FB Live. Once a wise man whispered, feeling thankfulness and not expressing it is like a gift wrapped and not giving it. Today, it gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks and on the behalf of Bechu team. It also gives me personally a meaning to be here to thank each one of you. Let me start off by giving thanks to my Almighty God for making today's event a grand success and giving us a blessing to host this event today. Personally, it gives me a great privilege to touch others' lives meaningfully through Bechu Life. First and foremost, I humbly thank our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, who, despite his busy schedule, took the honor to grace this occasion with his presence to launch the Bechu platform live today. Thank you, Bechu sir.
Thank you.
I'm sure all of you who have gathered here have been touched and inspired by the words sir has spoken during the inaugural address. I'm so humbled and touched, Bechu sir, for addressing on the importance of the value of friendship. And rightfully you said about how important it is to digitally connect with our loved ones in these pandemic times. Thank you, Bechu sir. I also extend my special thanks to Mr. Ashish Koshi, our dear friend, for taking a few minutes off his holiday time to be here with us and taking the honor to launch our website today. Ashish, thank you so much for emphasizing on the importance of AI. Thank you, Ashish. I'm further thankful to Mr. Gigo Joseph for agreeing to be here with us today after a 4-hour drive from Kochi to Trivandrum. I thank you for giving us a glimpse into the future about what technology can deliver to improve the user experience with ease. And it was so inspiring to hear about the passion of technology from you. I could see that reflecting, and we have lots to learn from you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Gigo. Now, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to our eminent doctors and our distinguished experts. We feel honored to have you on board. Today, I'm especially thankful to you all because many of you are attending this live with us. Thank you. Now, I especially thank all our attendees, guests, well-wishers, family, and friends who are attending the Zoom and watching us through our digital platforms. It is your presence that has made a great impact on today's event. An event like this cannot take place in one night. The wheels started rolling months ago. We have been fortunate. To be frank, I should say more than fortunate, we have been blessed to be backed up by wonderful friends who are a part of our advisory board, investors, and operations team whose trust and support has been with us throughout. A big thank you to Teldio and the technical team who is tirelessly and continuously working to improve the user experience of our platform. A special mention to the MC of our event, my dear friend, Sina Mary Burgess, for meticulously taking us through the event so graciously. It was an absolute delight. Thank you, Sina. A lot of my friends have helped us. While I cannot mention all their names here, I would like to specially mention a thank you to Vivek Chandran, my digital marketing manager, Fabian Prince, one of our distinguished consultant, and Dr. Jero Varghese, who is also my cousin and our advisory board member, who went the extra mile is for the success of this event. I thank Bindhu Jayamohan for being a right hand for me. Thank you, Bindhu. And I thank my family who believed in me and have handed over this responsibility, Better Life. I thank Biji Thomas for being my mentor and inspiring me each day. Once again, with a heart full of gratitude, I thank each and everyone gathered here. It's only because of your presence, prayers, and blessings today, this event is a grand success. We as a team, representing Better Life, we promise we are looking for better ways to serve you all. Thank you. Off to Sina.
Thank you, Jean, for the vote of thanks. A lot of hard work and time has been invested in this venture, and we could actually feel the gratitude you have for everyone behind it. Now that we have come to the end of this launch session, we are sure that all of you had a pretty good idea of what Better Life is all about. We wish and pray that this would be the beginning of a long journey into making people's life more easier. I once again thank our esteemed guests, consultants, and all well-wishers of Better Life. We hope you will travel with us all the way through this journey. We will now end this meeting. Thank you, good night, and God bless.